where we had completed in the previous class, right? We saw who gave the speech. First of all, we saw who was killed. Who was killed?
Caesar,
Caesar. And he was killed by who?
Brutus, Brutus
Brutus.
and the Senate members.
Right. And for killing him, he had justified his action, right? That he gave a speech to the people, justifying that why he killed him, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, what do you think? Were the people convinced?
Yes, ma'am.
People were convinced.
Yes,
Because
ma'am, they were.
what did he say? What did he say? He said that was ambitious. He was ambitious, right? And that's the reason he was afraid because of his ambitious nature. He would, harm Rome, right? And he had a special love for Rome. Although this is what he justified in his speech, right? Yes. He says that although he was his friend, but still he had to kill him. Why? Because he loved Rome, right? You had seen till here? Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue from where we had stopped. Yes, first citizen.
Yes, ma'am. Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
So, what does this show to you? Is the audience convinced with the speech given by him? Yes. Yes, after listening to him, the audience was convinced that okay, if he has killed, his act of killing is justified. Why it is justified? Because he gave the speech and he convinced them, right? As a good orator. Yes, second citizen, what does he think?
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Okay.
As he, masters. I fear there will be a worse come in this place.
If it be found so, some will dare abide it.
1 minute, fourth citizen. We must, Tansa, read the fourth citizen. Tansa? Am I audible, Tansa?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, please read the fourth citizen. He's already sharing the screen.
Fourth citizen, mark
Matthew words. He would not take the crown. Therefore, it is certain he was not ambitious. Okay? Next.
If it be found so, some will dare abide it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now, fourth. Okay, now, mark him. He begins again to speak.
Yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world.
Okay. 1 minute. Before Mark Antony starts speaking, I would just like to tell, brief you all what had happened to you, right? So, we have seen the story that after the speech given by him, most of the audience was convinced. Yes? He was able to convince the audience, yes or no? Yes. Children? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, what did he do? Now, they are asking whom to come on the stage and give the speech? Mark Antony. What do you think? What will Mark Antony do? Let's guess. Before we read his speech. What do you think?
Ma'am, he will convince all the people that the Brutus and the council were wrong and that they must take revenge.
Okay. So, will he do it directly? Will he do this directly?
No, ma'am, he will emphasize everything in the form of a poem.
Right. He will say everything, but very rhetorically, okay? Without even making him, feel bad that, he is pointing at him. Correct? He will not feel that, okay, he's pointing at Brutus, will not feel that, okay, he's pointing at him, but he will convey the message. Let's see what will Mark Antony say. Come on.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world, now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. Masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men.
Yes. So he starts his speech by saying that, I completely agree with Brutus. I'm not standing here to, criticize him. I am his dear friend. Let's see. This is how he starts his speech. Now let's see what he says further.
He did this before also. When he
Yes.
started his first speech, he was told that
Correct, correct.
This Caesar was very dear to me.
Right. Let's continue. Yes.
I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you. Then I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. This his will. But let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. And
Okay,
they
1 minute. So what is he saying? Basically, he says that I am not here to, judge anyone or to say you are wrong or you are wrong, right? He is just saying I am just a common man and I am here standing here giving this speech just to say whatever he has delivered. The dead man. Who is the dead man?
Caesar.
Caesar. Yes, children? Okay, so he says that I am here just to convey his message. Now let's see what does he say.
and they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in his sacred blood. Yeah, beg a hair of him for memory, and dying, mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue.
Yes. Okay. So now he first makes them respect the dead person, right? Yes or no? He asks them
Yes,
to
ma'am.
respect him, right? Before we go on with the further speech. Now let's see what the fourth citizen says. We will hear the will. Read it, Mark Anthony. So now he's saying that see, Caesar has already given a will, and if I read the will in front of you, you all will be convinced by what was his last will, what was written in his last will, what was his intentions. So looking at his intentions, whatever was mentioned in the will, you will come to know whether he was right or wrong. Okay, so the citizens demand him, like who is him over here? The citizens ask Mark Antony to please read the will which was given by who?
Caesar.
Children. On
Caesar.
that. Yes,
Caesar.
sir. Caesar.
Caesar.
So then everybody all says, okay, this is the entire crowd. The will, we will hear Caesar's will. Okay, so now everybody is desperate to know what exactly Caesar has mentioned in his will. What do you think? What he would have mentioned? How would Caesar be? What do you think, children?
He would have mentioned some kind of good things and he would donate some property of his.
Okay, good. You have read it. Okay. Who else? Yes, Raj. Any guesses? What do you think? And what do you think? Will the perspective of the audience change after reading his will?
It might change.
It might change. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's read it. What is there in the will? Okay, yes, Mark Anthony. Continue.
Yes, ma'am. Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you, it will make you mad. This good you know not that you are his heirs. For if you should, oh, what would come of it?
Fourth citizen. Read the will. We will hear it, Anthony. You shall read as the will. Caesar's will.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have overshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men. All.
The will, the testament.
Very good. The will, the testament. Second citizen.
They were villains, murderers. The will. Read the will.
Very good. Very
You
good.
will compel me then to read the will? Then make a ring around the corpse of Caesar and let me show you how that made that made the will. Shall I descend and will you give me leave?
Come down.
Come down.
Descend.
You shall have leave.
So now he convinces, see, basically, he, creates that, curiousness among the public, among the citizens about the will. So and now, at this particular stage, everybody is curious to know what exactly he had mentioned in his will, right? And now, if you will see each and every citizen who are standing there, they are just forcing Mark Antony to please read out the will, right? And now what happens from the stage? He comes down, and let's see what does he do then. Yes. Where are you? Anthony comes down. Okay. A ring. Stand round.
Stand from the heat, stand from the body.
Second. Room for Anthony. Most noble Anthony. So now everybody is making space for him. Anthony.
Nay, press not so upon me, stand far off.
Okay, so everybody,
Stand,
as soon as he comes down, everybody is, encircling him and, trying to, out of curiosity, because they just wanted to know what exactly he has written in his will. So now Anthony says that stay away from me. Don't just press. Okay, now several citizens. Stand back.
stand back. Room, beer back.
Okay.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas on a summer's evening in his tent. That day he overcame the Nervi. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dragger through. Sea water rent the inwise casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his kirtle away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved.
Okay. Now, what is the first thing he does when he comes near the dead body? What does Mark Antony do? What does he now? He's come down, right? And now all the people have gathered, around him. What did he do after coming down? Who will tell me? Yes.
First, he dramatically tells all the people to be calm since he was going to tell them an emotional story.
Correct.
And then he describes how was Caesar murdered.
How he was killed. By whom? By Brutus, right? Yes or no? So, see, this is all these things you're doing it, he's doing it purposely, right? He first made the people realize around him that how he killed him. Alright? So mercilessly. And to gather the mercy of the people for who? For the dead person. Now let's see further what is Mark Antony doing. Okay.
If Brutus so unkindly knocked, or no, for Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him.
Okay. So now in these two lines, what is he trying to show? That okay, first he's saying that he killed him very mercilessly. This is how painful it would have been. Then very next moment he's saying that he was a dear friend, he was an angel to Brutus, right? And even Brutus loved him a lot. So can you see how he is, bringing two statements together to make sure that he conveys the message without even Brutus getting angry or enraged with him, right? Next. Oh, Judge.
This was the most unkindest cut of all, for when the noble Caesar saw him stabbed, ingratitude, more strong than Tratus' arms, quite vanquished him, then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen! Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what? Weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here, he is himself marred, as you see with traitors.
Okay. So now what is the situation now? What had happened in the hallway with all citizens? What did he do to the citizens? Yes, children. What happens now in the room? What had happened to the citizens? What are they doing? They are weeping, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
They are weeping. Why are they weeping, Shreyas?
Ma'am, because of the his last, because after hearing the last will by Mark Antony.
Correct. They now realize no, how he was killed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and now we all are. See, can you see the change in the opinion of the citizens? Earlier, they agreed with whatever Brutus told them. Now, as soon as Mark Antony gave his speech, their perspective towards the dead man changed, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's see what happens further. Third citizen.
Oh, pity or spectacle.
O noble Caesar,
Oh, woeful day.
Oh, traitors, villains.
Oh, most bloody sight.
we will be revenged.
Revenge. About.
Seek,
Seek.
burn,
Burn,
Burn.
fire,
fire,
Fire.
kill,
slay.
Kill.
slay.
Slay. Let not
Let
a
not a
traitor
traitor
live.
live.
Let not a traitor
Live.
live.
Live, yeah. Okay, so now can you see everybody started talking, and in whose favor they are talking now?
I'm in the favor of Mark Antony.
In favor of Mark Antony, but Mark Antony is in whose favor?
Ma'am, Caesar's.
Caesar or Caesar, right?
Yes.
Yes. So now can you see how the perception changed? Okay, now let's see. Mark Antony still continues his speech. Let's see what happens further.
Hey, countrymen,
Peace there. Hear the noble Antony. Antony.
We'll hear him, we'll follow him, we'll die with him.
Very good.
good friends.
But before Mark Antony, continues his speech, everybody is in his favor, right? Before they could hear him, they all surrendered to Mark Antony, right? Saying that we are going to follow him, we are going to hear to whatever he is saying, right? They are convinced with him, right? Now he starts his speech. Let's see what he says.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not. That made them do it, they are wise and honorable, and will, no doubt, with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain blunt.
One minute. I would like to stop, interrupt over you. I'm so sorry. What do you mean by this, particular sentence? I am no orator as Brutus is.
Ma'am, he is forbidden to Brutus.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, orator, ma'am means he is telling I'm not like a liar like Brutus, but I'm like a faithful friend. But
Right.
I'm not a storytelling man. I'm just like telling the truth one.
Yeah, I am not good in giving speeches and convincing, I'm not an orator. So don't you think he's indirectly pointing at Brutus?
Yes, ma'am. He's trying
Yes,
to
ma'am.
indirectly put it in Brutus's way, but also making sure that the people don't doubt him.
Correct.
Go after.
Can you see that? And he has already, convinced the audience who are there, who are standing next to him. Right? Okay, next. Have you got this? I'm so sorry, Priyanshu, you can continue from here. I am no orator.
Yes, ma'am. I'm no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain blunt man that love my friend and that they know full well that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit nor words nor worth, action nor utterance nor the power of speech. To stir men's blood, I only speak right on. I
Yes.
tell you what
Yes.
that which you yourself do know. Show you.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you because it's a long speech, so I want to explain there and then in short. So now you will see, he first criticized Brutus, but on the other hand, he's justifying himself also. What is he telling about himself? What is he
Ma'am,
telling?
can I?
Yes.
Ma'am, that I'm like he's not a orator like a speech talent man like Brutus, but he's just a plain man,
Hmm?
and does not and he also does not have a power of speech, or he had no words for the incident which had happened.
And he's saying that, see, I am neither justifying anybody, nor am blaming anyone. I am here to just tell you what is right. Okay, I will just convey you the message, what is right. You think and you decide. Right? This is what the message is given to the audience, the citizens, that you all decide, you all are good enough. See, you all are men, right? You all have that thinking power, you all can understand who's right and wrong. He's saying, I'm just showing you whatever is right. You all decide who is right and who is wrong. Clear? So,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
see how tactfully he's doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
He is, trying to, blame Brutus, but making sure that he is also not, he doesn't feel angry about it, right? Let's see what he says further. Yes, please.
I
I
tell you
say,
that, yes, ma'am. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus and Brutus Antony, there where an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
so what he did now, he showed the citizens the wounds of the territory, right? So see, can you see how he was trying to convince the people? Now he showed them the wounds and neither blaming Brutus also for this act. Let's see what happens further. Let's see what people think now. Yes, on.
We will mutiny.
Okay, first
We
citizen.
will burn the house of Brutus.
Got it? Got the reaction?
Yes,
We will
yes, ma'am.
burn the house of Brutus. Okay, third citizen.
Away then, come seek the conspirators.
Okay.
Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak.
Wait, he's still
Peace ho! Here,
Yes,
Antony,
continue.
most noble.
Okay, 1 minute. What are you saying? He has already, charged up all the citizens, changed their thinking process, and he's still saying, wait, let me hear me. Let me complete my speech. Yes, all. Yes.
Peace ho! Here, Antony, most noble Antony.
Why, friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you of.
See now, so as soon as these people started blaming Brutus, he is again changing the topic. What is he telling about? He's diverting the attention towards the will. You remember? Where everybody was curious to know what is there in his will. Okay, then he reminds them, oh wait, you have forgot. You told me that you want to know the will. Let me tell you about the will also. Okay, yes, all.
Most true. The will.
The will.
Let's stay
Let's
and
stay
hear
and
and
hear the
hear
will.
the will.
Julius
Julius
Caesar was
Caesar
stabbed
was stabbed
Caesar
23
was
23
stabbed
times.
times.
23 times.
Yes. And
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal, to every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
yes. So what was there in the will? Here is the will. With the
Ma'am, that he will give 75 drachmas to each and every person, like several men.
of which city? Of what?
Roman
Roman
citizen.
citizen. What does this prove? Was he not having a love for this thing, Rome?
Ma'am, he had a lot of
Ma'am, he
love.
had a lot of love for
So,
Rome citizens.
can you make out that he was trying to convince the people that although he was ambitious, but he loved Rome as well. And that's the reason. What did he do? 75?
Ma'am, 70
Drachmas.
Ma'am, what is about drachmas? Drachmas.
Someone tell me what does Drachmas mean?
They were the currency that was used during the Roman
Currency,
time.
very good,
Okay.
Raj. Okay, to most of the citizens of the Roman citizens. Okay, now let's see what the second citizen say.
Most noble Caesar, we'll revenge his death.
Can you make out the difference? As soon
Yes,
as
ma'am.
they got the first will, now they are completely convinced that
Revenge.
agree with his, death, but we are also going to take revenge for his death. And whom they are going to take revenge from? What do you think?
Ma'am, Brutus.
Brutus.
Good. Third citizen.
O royal Caesar,
Hear me with patience.
Peace ho.
Moreover, he had left you all his walks, his private arbors and new planted orchards. On this side Tiber, he had left them you, and to your heirs forever, common pleasures, to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
What was there in the second thing mentioned in the will, apart from giving, money? What was there? Who will tell me? What did he give?
Ma'am, that he has given his private arbors and new planted orchards. Orchards.
To the people, right? Whatever he
Yes, ma'am.
was his
To
own
the Roman citizens.
given to the people. What does this show? What does this show?
Ma'am,
Love for his people?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It also shows that he had love for Rome.
Yes.
Indirectly. Okay, now let's see what happens further.
Never. Come, come away. We will burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands, fire, and the traitor's house, take up the body.
Yes. So now can you see? Now they are telling we will burn his body in the holy place. They have now completely agreed with whom?
Antony.
Ma'am, with the Anthony.
Yes, this second thing which is mentioned in this will showed or proved that he was a very holy man, right? He was a pious person. All right, next, second citizen.
Go fetch the fire.
plug down benches,
Fourth, okay, plug down forms, windows, anything.
Now let it work. Mischief, thou art a fool. Take thou what cause thou wilt.
Have you understood the prose, children?
Yes,
Ma'am, I wanted to ask one thing.
Sorry?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask one thing.
Yes, one sec, huh? One sec. Have you understood the prose, everyone? Till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, but I have a doubt.